So the layout itself has progressed a fair bit actually. So there was sort of like the little jobs that seem to take forever. One of the issues that we've had in particular, say with where we've been in the winter period, was trying to get this sculptor mould to dry basically. But yeah, that's on now, and that's pretty much dried. The retaining wall, if I move the signal box, I mentioned about how it was going to recess into the embankment, so that is done. The signal box is basically the next project to do, is to do all that interior stuff. I've just got the wires through of where the lights are going to be, so there's going to be, I'm either going to use what I've got there currently or fit some of these LED strips along the roof, because these are warm white. The issue being with this is I've got bright white and yellow, and I think if we could do a little bit of a combination of the two, a little bit of a test, and so see what sort of light was given off by it. But to be honest, I'm probably just going to bin that off and go straight for the LED strips. But one of the lights that is in there, I'm sure it was, unless I've, oh yes it is, it's down, hiding away back there. That is a flickering orange LED for the stove in the signal box. So that'd be one of the items that is getting like semi-scratch built for that. And then the wires go through the holes underneath the board and then come out the back of the layout. The stores building / whatever it's got to be called that day has its own light. I need to do basically a floor for that building, and say obviously drill through the hole for the light to come through. But say that's in place. Now, recent addition is this water tower. Obviously, it's not fitted in place yet. I need to trim down the rubber tube, pipe, hose. To fit properly into there. Now, it's on a slight slope as per the one at Weybourne is basically my reference example I'm going for. So actually when you actually place it, if you don't actually push the whole piece fully into the actual base, you can actually adjust it. So great examples, isn't it, in my hand? Yeah, doing really well. Anyway, so you can incline it so you have the base on the angle on the slope going down, but then angle the tower so it's up vertically. So it's a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of refining and stuff. But yeah, that saved that one headache of trying to think, I hope I have to try and bend this in some sort of way to work. Now, there are different examples I've seen of these water towers where sometimes the actual base, where you see where the bricks are, protrudes out from the surface of the platform. Some other places it's flush with the platform, and then other places it doesn't exist at all, and the tower column thing is just embedded straight into the platform surface. So I'm a little bit undecided about what I got. I could just leave it as so, with it protruding out. It shouldn't pose too much of a trip hazard because many people using it are staff. I kind of like the idea of having it flush with the platform, so I may just cut out an area of the paving slabs and then place it within there. There is the brazier piece. It is a paint in the backside, trying to get this to stand up on the slope, hence why it's there at the moment. Obviously that will have its own place eventually. Whether or not I decide to actually use this piece on the layout, I'm undecided yet. Looking at different heritage railways, I don't really see it appear that often. I certainly don't see it used as its intended purpose. But I'm a little bit more thinking about that. Now, going further down, we now have the lights installed on the platform. And they had their own grooves going through the platform surface to go at the back. They have been tested with a 3-volt watch battery. All work. So you've got 2 there. Then you've got 2 actually within the station building itself, which will be under the canopy, and then your last one is down the far end. I say that's all tested and worked out. You got your food vendor, the light for that is installed. Christmas tree is installed. All works is tested. The lights for each room on the in the station are semi installed. They've got their placements drilled through for the actual layout itself, and then I'll need to work out running those into the ceilings of the station building and doing the interiors of that. The long one you can see running out is the Christmas lights. How to package it? Aha! See, I'm well prepared. These are the Christmas lights, again from Layouts for You. These just work off a standard 9-volt battery, which I did have to hand. I can't see it. Oh, here it is. So I'm testing most of these is a standard 9-volt battery with your clip on, and the exposed wires each end, put the positives and negatives to the corresponding end of the lights, and test that they work. Now, the thing to remember is do not do that with a 3-volt LED like that, because it will go bang.
Well, that destroyed everything.
It won't go bang, just nothing will happen, it will never work again. But that's one sure way to ruin your LEDs. A lot of them have resistors built in, so particularly the Christmas tree has a resistor built in which is covered, which actually in this case works quite well for the power supply going to the Christmas tree as it would in real life. So that's so I'm going to use it for in that regards. But they can just be tested straight fine off these 9-volt batteries. Sometimes it says like a 12-volt LED, but works just fine on a 9-volt. And they're still quite bright. You don't actually lose a huge amount. Guarantee you get people out there going, no, don't do that. You meant to do all this with bulbs and LEDs, but I'm learning as I'm going and I'm testing things, and they still work, and I haven't blown them all up yet. So that's all good. So yeah, the other thing which I'll briefly say was I mentioned to say about I'd done the brickwork and everything. Now, when I started doing that, I just slapped on some brown paint at the start just to get this piece installed, and then I could start going on from there. What I am going to do is change the colour of the brick on the bridge and the platforms. Not 100% on the platforms, probably going to do platforms as well, but definitely the bridge is going to be changed to Staffordshire Blue Brick. Now, the reason for this is when I started this layout, I just knew of yellow brick, red brick, blue brick, and assumed that was all to do with where the railway was in the country and the source of brick in the area, which for 9 times out of 10 is true. However, Staffordshire Blue Brick, for those who don't know, a little bit of a little brick geekism coming on now, is you take your bricks and then you heat them, as far as I'm aware, much higher temperature, and this turns the outer surface of the brick blue. The actual whole brick is not blue, so sometimes you'll see when you look at some of these blue brick structures, you can see red brick in there, and sometimes it's being replaced with red brick because it was available on repair, or it's the actual red brick itself starting to show through. But the reason why this they heat these bricks up is to become much substantially stronger, and able to take more weight, and much more weatherproof as well. So particularly for, basically it was known as engineering brick, so your bridges, platforms, the surfaces where the actual brick itself is serving a purpose. It's not just decorative like on a station building, it is for a purpose, and it's designed to be strong and hold up that structure. Then they use Staffordshire Blue Brick. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to slightly change that. It's not going to be a huge job. Most of it, the actual brickwork on it wasn't finished anyway. There was just a little bit of experimenting and testing some techniques on it and stuff. So yes, I'll be changing that. The actual building structure itself, such as like the whatever we're calling that building, and the station building itself will be red brick. And painted in the style as already seen on the platforms and stuff. Some platforms I've seen still used red brick. Like I say, for that sort of structure, you're not too worried about the strength of it. You're more worried about the longevity of it. But yeah, there we go. So hope you learned something new about bricks. I learned far more about it doing this project than I thought I ever would about brick. But there we go. So yeah, there's a little update for today, and I will give another one once I've got something worthwhile showing. So until next time, thanks for watching. But wait, there's more. So I forgot to actually say, it's 2 things. One is the signal itself. When I did the last update, I said I wasn't sure where I was going to actually position this signal. Where it is currently is where ideally I always wanted it. But I wasn't sure when I actually installed the water column whether or not that would actually cause a lot of issues with line of sight from the loco to the signal itself, and did consider whether or not I maybe move the signal further down, which is prototypical. They could do that. But now here we go. Will it still stay standing up whilst recording? There we go. So, excuse me. We can see, if I try and get this on to there, actually doesn't make that much difference at all, the water column being there, and the signal, you still see it perfectly well. So the plan will be to put that signal there. Now, the thing that I forgot to mention, which I'm sure a number of you have already noticed, you've gone, oh my dear God, what the hell is that? Was my attempt at trying to do the gravel on the actual station platform. So we used chinchilla sand, put PVA down, tried to sprinkle on the chinchilla sand. Didn't use a sieve, it's my first mistake. So a lot more went on than I hoped. I thought, oh, it'll be okay. The bottom layers will stick, and then the top layer will just be able to be vacuumed off, and all will be okay. And there may be a bit of bumps, but I'll just sand those down, and that'll be okay. And yeah, you can see how well that went. So a lot of it still has not dried. This has been out in the garage now for several days, and obviously in these colder winter temperatures is still damp. Where it was pretty much slightly, I thought, oh, I might be able to try and flatten it down and say press it down, and it might actually solve my problems. And then I forgot to wet the ruler, which I was pressing it down with. So obviously it's all stuck to said ruler. And then the lid from a spray can, which I also used, trying to basically use it like a roller to roll things out. Yeah, again, forgot to wet it, all stuck to that. So a lot of it's come back up. So when I finished doing the little bits, which I'm currently doing, this will go back inside, where it will dry out substantially. Then it will be all removed, and we will start again, this time using the sieve and doing it indoors in a nice warm caring environment where it will dry nicely and provide decent results. It hasn't ruined where the lights are, that all went in. I did have the common sense to clear it all away from the edges of the paving and around where the Christmas tree is as well. Again, same sort of results down there, but I haven't actually touched that, but that's just not drying properly at all. So that's all going to get taken up and done again. But I'll say it's all about, this is my first layout, learning as I go along, trying things out, making mistakes, and then learning from it and carrying on. So I have made a way through a number of different videos, trying to pick up different techniques and stuff, and then you could do something as ridiculous as thinking, oh, I can just go and glue this and it will dry quite nicely in a very cold garage, and then do things as simple as taking a plastic lid and thinking, oh, I can roll that over this semi-wet, semi-still sticky glue material, and somehow think that it was still going to be there when I'd finished rolling over it, which obviously it wasn't. So lesson learnt. So we'll try again. Until next time, thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.